Before we dive into today's treasure, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. There's a whole world of rare and valuable coins out there, and you don't want to miss a single one. Each coin tells a story, and some can even change your life. Now let's begin. Imagine this for a moment. You're walking down a dusty roadside market in Bangkok, the smell of street food in the air, the sound of tuk-tuks buzzing by. You hand over a few coins to a vendor for a refreshing bottle of water, and in your palm, resting casually, is something extraordinary. Something that could be worth thousands. But you wouldn't even know it. This is the story of one of the most overlooked and underestimated coins in Southeast Asia. A small, almost unnoticeable piece of currency that, if you know what to look for, could be hiding a fortune. We're talking about the 50 Satong coin from Thailand, minted between 2018 and 2022. Now, don't let the size or face value of this coin fool you. It's barely larger than a fingernail and officially worth half a Thai baht, which in US terms is about a penny and a half. But here's where it gets interesting. The coin is made from a copper-plated steel composite. Light to the touch. Easy to dismiss. But the design, it's precise, it's royal, and it's deeply connected to the Thai monarchy. On the front, or the obverse, is the dignified portrait of King Maha Vajiralongkorn, Rama X. His reign began in 2016 following the death of his father, the beloved King Bhumibol Adulyadej. This coin represents more than currency. It marks a transition in Thailand's royal history. And to many collectors, coins from the early years of a new monarch hold special symbolic and collectible value. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted with the emblem of the royal Thai government. The level of craftsmanship in the engraving is subtle but refined, something that often goes unnoticed by the average person. But not by collectors. For them, every curve, every detail, is a potential sign of rarity. Now here's where the plot thickens. Not all coins are created equal, even in the same year. While millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, certain batches, especially from the years 2019 and 2020, were minted in exceptionally low quantities. Some were released only for ceremonial purposes or specific government use. And even fewer ever made it into the hands of the general public. What's more, a number of these coins contain minting errors that dramatically increase their value. Some coins have misaligned strikes. Others show doubling in the text, or slight shifts in the king's portrait, variations so subtle that only trained eyes would notice. But for the trained collector, these imperfections turn a common coin into a priceless artifact. Let's talk numbers. During the height of the pandemic in 2020, Thai mints slowed production. Demand dropped. The economy contracted. As a result, the number of 50 Satong coins produced in that year fell significantly. Some estimates suggest only a few thousand pieces from that year survived in uncirculated condition. And of those, only a handful have been found with the unique errors that send collectors into a frenzy. And now, most people pass these coins along without a second thought. They use them in vending machines, throw them in jars, or give them away as change. They sit in drawers. Forgotten. Rusting away, but those who know, those who understand the story, the rarity, the nuance, they search. They look for signs. They check for that one detail that turns metal into gold. Collectors from the US, Japan, and even Germany are now entering the Thai market in search of these small coins. Auctions are happening quietly. Private sales behind closed doors. And one coin, in particular, has shattered all expectations. In early 2022, a 50 Satong coin from the 2020 series, bearing a rare double die obverse and struck on a misaligned planchet, surfaced in a private collection in Bangkok. At first, even the owner didn't believe it was anything special. But after expert examination and verification by a European numismatic firm, the coin was valued and eventually sold in an exclusive collector's auction. It wasn't sold for hundreds, it wasn't sold for thousands. The final bid? 60-5,000 US dollars. Yes, you heard that right, from a dusty market street in Thailand to a climate-controlled collector's vault across the globe. A single coin that once bought a bottle of water is now worth $65,000. But now ask yourself this: how many of these coins have passed through your hands? How many have you overlooked? How many times have you assumed that something small couldn't possibly be important? That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about discovery. It's about history. It's about having the eyes to see what others ignore. So here's what you do next. If you've traveled through Thailand, or know someone who has, check your old coin jars. Look at your change drawers. Ask your friends. Examine every 50 sat-on coin you can find, especially from 2019 to 2021. Look for unusual text, doubling, misalignment, or anything that doesn't look quite right. These are the hidden signatures of a rare coin, and while most won't be worth much more than face value, that one special piece could change everything. Remember, gentlemen, especially those of you who grew up with pocket change and piggy banks, sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest secrets. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more real coin stories, real history, and real value. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on rare coin discoveries and hidden treasures that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered, could this be worth more than what's stamped on it? Could it be something far more valuable, hiding in plain sight? If you're the kind of man who grew up counting coins, saving for the things that mattered, or collecting little pieces of history without even knowing it, this one's for you. Let's talk about a coin that's quietly made its way into the pockets, drawers, and jars of thousands, maybe even millions of people. A coin that, for many, looks just like any other spare change. But today, this ordinary-looking 5-baht coin from Thailand, minted in 2011, is turning heads in the collector's world, and not just for its design or age, but for something far more surprising: its value. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A coin from 2011? That's not old enough to be rare. It's not from ancient times. It's not gold. It doesn't glitter. But that's exactly why this story is worth hearing. Because sometimes, the rarest treasures are the ones we least expect. This coin, the 2011 5-baht from Thailand, carries a portrait of King Bhumibol Adulyadej on one side, a figure deeply respected and remembered in Thai history. The other side features the iconic Wat Benchamabaphit, also known as the Marble Temple, an architectural masterpiece that stands proudly in Bangkok. The detail is crisp, elegant, and unmistakably Thai, but it's not the king or the temple that makes this coin special. It's not even its age. It's a particular variation, a tiny detail that separates the common from the collectible. A small minting difference. A flaw. A subtle imperfection, a marking, or a missing feature that can only be found on a few coins from that year. To the untrained eye, it's invisible. But to collectors, it's pure gold. Men like you, men who know what it means to look beyond the surface, understand this better than most. You've lived long enough to know that true value often hides behind what's overlooked. You've learned to spot the difference between the ordinary and the exceptional. And this coin, it's one of those exceptions. Now, let me take you back to the early 2000s. The Thai Mint was producing millions of coins each year, meeting the needs of a growing economy. In 2011, the 5-baht coin was just another part of that process. But something happened that year. A particular batch was struck under slightly different conditions: changes in metal content, pressure issues, or a misalignment of the die. The result? A version of the coin that looks almost identical to the regular one, but is anything but. Collectors began to take notice. At first, it was just whispers. Then a few examples started popping up in online auctions, private collections, estate sales. Suddenly, the coin community realized they had a sleeper hit on their hands. A coin that had slipped through the cracks and ended up in the hands of regular people. People who had no idea what they were holding. It's the kind of story that reminds you to go check that jar of coins on your shelf. The one you've ignored for years. Because somewhere in there, mixed in with the forgotten change, there might just be something extraordinary, and here's the kicker. One of these coins, just one, recently sold in the collector's market for a jaw-dropping $8,000. That's right. A coin with a face value of just 5 baht, barely a few cents in US currency, was bought for more than most people's monthly paycheck. Now think about that, $8,000. Not because it's made of gold. Not because it's ancient. But because it's rare. Unexpected. And nearly impossible to find unless you know exactly what you're looking for. This is where knowledge becomes power. It's a reminder that the world of coin collecting isn't just for historians or museums. It's for men like you, curious, experienced, and sharp-eyed. Men who still enjoy the thrill of the hunt, the value of history, and the satisfaction of discovery. So what should you do next? Go check your old coins. Look at the details. Find those 5 baht coins from 2011 and study them carefully. Look for oddities. Thicker edges. Misprints. Variations in shine or texture. Even the slightest difference can mean the world to the right buyer, because the truth is, value isn't always about age or shine. Sometimes it's about scarcity. A story. A moment in time frozen in metal, and sometimes, it's sitting right in your house, waiting to be found. So if you've got a box of old coins, now is the time to go digging. You could be holding something rare. Something valuable. Something worth far more than its face says. Before you go, one more reminder, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Because there's a whole world of hidden treasures out there, and I'm here to help you uncover them one by one. You don't want to miss what's coming next. And now, as promised, the value, that rare 2011 Thailand 5 baht coin, the one with the subtle minting variation, recently sold for up to $8,000 in the right market. $8,000. And it all started with someone taking a closer look at a coin they almost ignored. So don't overlook what you already own. The treasure might be in your hands right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next hunt.